The return of Jesus and his coming kingdom. Part 3. The rise of the Antichrist and the nations opposing Israel. The Bible tells us that before the return of Jesus, a powerful global leader will arise, the Antichrist. His rise will not happen in isolation. It will be connected to the same geographical and spiritual conflict that has existed for thousands of years, the ancient struggle between the nations and God's chosen people, Israel. For many years, popular end times teaching in the West has identified the final empire of Daniel's prophecy as a revived Roman Empire. But Bible prophecy teacher Joel Richardson, along with other researchers, believes the evidence points in a different direction. A revived Islamic empire, rising from the same regions as the ancient enemies of Israel. Richardson explains, every scriptural description of the final empire is rooted in the geography of the ancient Islamic world, not Europe. The prophets consistently describe the surrounding nations, those that have historically opposed Israel, as the key players in the last days. The ancient empires in Daniel chapters 2 and 7, God revealed a prophetic sequence of world empires that would dominate Israel's land and people. Babylon, Medo, Persia, Greece, and a final kingdom, described as terrible and dreadful with 10 horns. Daniel 7:7. Traditional interpreters have often identified this fourth beast with Rome. But Richardson notes that Daniel's prophecies focus on empires that conquered and ruled over Israel's land directly. Rome controlled Israel, but the continuity of the prophetic pattern is best preserved by seeing this fourth beast as a culmination of the Islamic caliphates that succeeded the Greek Empire in the Middle East. The geographic evidence. Joel Richardson emphasizes that all of the nations mentioned in end-time prophecies, Assyria, Babylon, Persia, Egypt, Cush, Put, Edom, Moab, are today located in the Middle East and North Africa. The Bible's end-time geography consistently points to Israel's surrounding Islamic nations, not to Europe, as the center of the final conflict. Joel Richardson, Mideast beast. This would mean the Antichrist's empire arises from the same lands, once dominated by the Babylonian, Persian, and Greek empires, and later unified under Islam in the caliphates. Hatred for Israel and the Jewish people. From Pharaoh in Egypt to Haman in Persia, from Antiochus Epiphanes in the Seleucid Empire to Hitler in modern history, there has been a recurring pattern. Demonic-inspired leaders seeking to destroy the Jewish people. Jesus warned, "Then they will deliver you up to tribulation and kill you, and you will be hated by all nations for my name's sake." Matthew 24:9. In the last days, this hatred will be concentrated in the Antichrist and his coalition. Amir Tisafati explains, the Antichrist will not just be a political figure. He will be the embodiment of Satan's rage against God's covenant people. The coalition against Jerusalem's prophets describe a multinational alliance that will come against Israel in the final conflict. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of drunkenness to all the surrounding peoples. All nations of the earth are gathered against it. Zechariah 12:2-3. Richardson notes that the same nations that historically surrounded Israel, Edom, Moab, Ammon, Assyria, are repeatedly named in last days prophecies. Psalm 83, Ezekiel 38 to 39, Isaiah 11. These ancient names correspond to modern Muslim-majority nations in the Middle East and North Africa. The final defeat, Daniel prophesies that this final empire, no matter how strong, will be destroyed by the coming of the Messiah. In the days of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. It shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms. Daniel 2:44. Richardson points out that just as the Islamic caliphates of history eventually fell, so the final Islamic empire under the Antichrist will be crushed when Jesus returns to Jerusalem, overthrowing the Mahdi Antichrist and establishing his reign over all the nations. The rise of the Antichrist is not the birth of a new power. It is the revival of an old one. The same lands, the same people, and the same spirit of opposition to God and his covenant with Israel will come together one last time. But the end is certain. The King of Kings will return, and his kingdom will never end. The kingdoms of this world have become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever. Revelation 11:15.